Well, welcome everyone, or maybe I should say aloha, right? We have a special guest with us today, Jen McGeehan, and
Yes.
we are so gracious that you are here with us today. And one thing I just wanted to point out is for everyone that says, yikes, it's too early, we can't hit Focus Friday. Jen is here to teach us a lesson because it's 5 o'clock in the morning, your time, is that correct? Okay.
Yes,
Well, if
that's
we could,
correct.
all right. If we could all look that great at 5 a.m., we would, definitely seize the day. So welcome. You are with Coldwell Banker Island Properties. Yes or no? Can you hear us or? Okay. Why don't you?
Sarah?
Yes?
It's breaking up.
Okay, well, we'll just get started then. Why don't you give us a little bit of your background?
I'd be happy to. Well, first of all, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for the opportunity to share with you about our story over here on the Big Island. I just think you work for a great team. I'm just so excited to be here this morning. I do live on the Hamakua coast. I live off grid, and I'm having a little bit of technical issues over here because we are off grid. So hopefully everything's going to be okay. Is it okay?
So far.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so I got my license in 2018 and started with a company called Clark Realty, who was then purchased by Locations. And then about a year and a half ago, Coldwell Banker Island Properties purchased us. So we've had a little bit of transition, but it's been a great learning experience. And I absolutely love my job. Getting up at 4 a.m. was no big deal for me because I was just really excited to share with you. So basically, I live on the Hamakua coast, which is the east side of the island. It's where the ranches and acreage is located. A lot of us do live off grid, which means we're not plugged into the utilities, which you already know, I'm sure. So with that comes challenges, but it's just been a great experience for me the last 4 years.
What was your background prior?
Yeah. Oh, well, I lived in Southern California. My husband and I moved here about 10 years ago. Actually, it's been almost 12 years now that I think about it. And we lived in Big Bear, which is also sort of like an island. It's up in Southern California mountains. And while I was there, I was the buyer manager for about 8 gift stores on the San Bernardino and Angeles National Forest. And so that was a pretty big job for me, but I absolutely loved it. And prior to that, I had worked for shopping centers and retailers as a marketing director. So.
Okay. And then, so what possessed you to become a realtor? How was that transition?
Thanks. You're breaking up just a little bit. So if I look a little strange, it's because I'm trying to understand what you're asking me. Could you ask that question again? Because you sort of broke up.
Sure. I'm actually going to type it in the chat, so maybe that'll help as well.
Okay. Living on the Hamakua coast off grid does have its challenges. I'll tell you that much.
All right, we'll work through it.
Oh, okay. So why did I become a realtor? Well, living as many years as I've lived and doing the kinds of careers that I've done, all of a sudden I had a house cleaning business over here because when you move to the island, you can't necessarily replicate what you did on the mainland. And so I started a cleaning, decorating, and organizing business. And one day I had this epiphany that I would really rather sell the houses than clean them. And so I just felt led to get my license. My brother had been a agent for maybe, I don't know, 40 years, and his wife. And I always loved homes. I loved to decorate them. I was very much into unique kinds of homes. I've always owned something that's a little unique, not a standard home. And it was like a light bulb went off in my head. I should be a realtor. And so that's exactly what I did. And I have not regretted it one moment. I've just loved it. And all my experience through being a marketing director, writing, so much of what we do actually is in communication. So all of my work experience just sort of led up to being a realtor.
Perfect. I put another question in the chat for you.
Okay, let's see. It's not coming up. Okay, it didn't come up, but go ahead.
Can you elaborate on, you wear many hats. You're a blogger, you're a published author. Can you explain to our agents about those hats that you wear?
I didn't get that. Where's the chat box? Let's see. Where is my chat box? It didn't come up. Oh, shoot. Hang in there, guys. Oh, here we go. You wear many hats. Well, I got the you wear many hats part. Let's try it again.
Can you explain to us about your book?
Sure, absolutely. Here's a copy of it. Yeah. When my husband and I moved to Hawaii, we came under a lot of duress. We had gotten caught in the 2008 real estate financial collapse. And because I know a lot of you are dealing with clients in resort communities, and we were in a resort lake community. And it hit us like a lead balloon. I mean, a lot of communities had major problems, but Big Bear basically just became non-existent. It was a terrible time. But it was also a time that my husband decided that he was going to need to retire because he had to have a back surgery. He was a fire captain, had been in the service about 32 years. And so we put our house on the market in 2008. Who on earth would do that? But anyway, that's what we had to do because we decided we were going to move to Hawaii. And our house was on the market 3 years later at half price. And we were in debt $600,000. $500,000 of that was a interest-only loan. It was just a disaster. So we had an opportunity to move to Hawaii, and we emptied out our house and we gave the keys to our Big Bear realtor. And we ultimately moved into a vintage yurt about a half a mile away from where we live right now on the Hamakua coast in a little town called Pauilo. And it was quite a massive transition. I mean, we lived in a 3,000 square foot custom built home that was worth $1 million. And we moved into a 24-foot diameter yurt in the middle of the ohia forest on a rock in the ocean. And my closest girlfriend said, Jen, you're not gonna last 6 months doing this. And yet it was something that we felt called to do. We were excited about it. We could see the light at the end of the tunnel, and it wasn't a train because we had to get out of all of that debt. And so in the process of all of that, the opportunity came for me to write our story. And it just started with some letters to some friends, and then it became, oh, here's the yurt. And then it became a sort of like a blogging thing and on Facebook. And then one of the friends of mine that I was writing to said, Jen, you really need to write a book. And that's how it all happened. So within the 14 months that we were in the yurt, we were able to get out of all of that debt without claiming bankruptcy, which was something we felt was very important to do. We wanted to pay off all of our bills. Our home short sold. My father had a stroke, and I was telling Sarah that I didn't realize that he was a hoarder, but he was a hoarder of money. So in the course of our home being short sold and my inheritance, we were eventually able to buy the home that we live in right now. But anyway, that's how the book got going. It's the only faith-based story on tiny house living that's been published in the world, to my knowledge. And it's just a story of hope and healing, living by faith, not by sight, trusting that if we did the right thing, we would get out of our situation. This is a picture of our home now that we live in. It's about a half a mile as the crow flies away from the yurt in this very same community, which is where we felt that we were supposed to live. And this house is actually built in the round as well. Yurts are round, and this house is kind of a one of a kind. It took maybe, I think, 10 years to build it. When we bought it, it was a massive fixer-upper. But we're almost 11 years into it. And by the end of the year, I think that we will have it paid off and we will actually own our own home, which is a miracle.
Yes, congratulations. That's a huge feat.
Thank you.
When we were talking with having to set yourself apart with your business, you had mentioned that you had a mantra or a motto of be like no one else. Did we lose you? Oh, there you are. How is your marketing background?
Can you just put that, just a real synopsis of your question? It was breaking up again. I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's okay. Let's see.
Put it in the chat. Yeah.
Did you get it?
Just keep it real short because it's not coming up on the screen. Oh yeah, my marketing background. Is that what you're asking about? What's my marketing background?
And how it sets you apart from other realtors.
Yes. Yeah. You know, I didn't realize when I became a realtor how important it is to be able to market yourself correctly, to develop a brand for yourself. But all of my marketing experience has been probably the key to being able to set myself apart. I have the only lifestyle blog for the Hamakua Coast, but also I think I have the only lifestyle blog in our company. And I do a lot of writing. I have social media that posts 3 times a week. I do all the writing for that, and then I have somebody help me with that. I have a very creative 8-panel, little square 8-panel marketing piece that I use for farming. I'm always out there trying to, my husband says, way to work the room, Jen, because I'm always paying attention to opportunities to market myself, because if I don't market me, I can't depend on my company or anybody else to do it. So I've just been fortunate. I think that one of the best characteristics or experience that an agent can have is marketing experience. So if you don't have that, I would take a class in college, or I would hire a marketing expert. It would be well worth the money, because you have to set yourself apart. For me, I was trying to figure out, where was I unique? And basically I discovered that I was unique because of the experience of us moving over here. So I'm a senior move management real estate expert. I've got my SRES designation. And I can speak into being an equestrian. I can speak into all different types of living in different types of homes, because I've lived in everything from a yurt to a custom built home that we built. And that the blog that I set up was the very best thing that I've ever done, because for people who are trying to determine whether or not they want to hire you, I can send them to my blog, and my blog promotes me without me directly promoting me. So I would say that's the single most important financial and time investment that I've made in my career. Does that answer the question?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's one thing that sets us apart is we have an amazing marketing team and they do an incredible job. So that is one of our value propositions that we offer. So that's one of the things that we do to set us apart.
Well, and Coldwell Banker Island Properties over here, we have a fabulous marketing department as well. And to have the basic products that you need and somebody to go to help you if you need it, I wouldn't be afraid to ask your marketing department to help you specifically, because my marketing department, I go to them and they do things for me that they don't do for other agents. They said, Jen, you have the most robust, complete marketing program of any agent in our company. But it's because I don't have a problem picking up the phone and saying, I need this that's specific to me. And they always say yes. But I also go outside and I hire other companies to help me. I have, you know, a graphic designer that helps me, and a social media gal that helps me, and a printer that's specific to me. And so don't be afraid to ask.
Right. Your primary focus for the future with the shifting market?
Well, I've come to realize how important it is to be a listing agent. I didn't realize that at first either. But as a listing agent, it brings you new potential buyer clients because they are contacting you regarding your property. And most of the time they don't end up buying that particular property, but they become my client. And I take it to the next level and say, well, if this one isn't going to work for you, I've got a couple others in mind. And we start emailing and I get them on my CRM, and they turn into clients. So for me, I need to continue to farm and do a better job of farming. Here's a tip that I picked up in listening. We have our own affiliate escrow company. And he said something that resonated with me. He said, when you're farming, and this is true for us on the island, I don't know if it would be true for others, but he said, when you farm, don't farm to the people that live on the island that own homes and land. Farm to the ones who don't, because they don't have their finger on the pulse. They don't have maybe an agent that can easily speak with or even know who to go to. So for the first time in 3 years, I sent my farming piece, which is not a postcard. I will not send out anything standard that other agents do. I do an 8-panel multi-fold tiny little mailer. I only sent it to homeowners that lived on the mainland. And I have already had 3 responses, which is 2 more than I've ever had before. And I'm waiting for a listing contract to be signed for one of those now. So I can unequivocally say that tip has tripled my response so far. And the mailer only went out a few weeks ago. So maybe that will help some of you. I don't know.
That's great. You were awarded the Coldwell Banker International President's Award in 2021. I did type it. So how does Big Island real estate differ from all the other islands? You had mentioned that there was a huge difference from a value.
Well, what people on the neighboring islands, buyers on the neighboring islands are saying, we have very little room to expand on Oahu, Maui. It's very, very expensive to buy over there. I mean, like the median house expense or cost is like $1 million or something. It's so out of the realm for the average person to be able to even consider moving to Hawaii. But the Big Island, because it's big, it's 4,023 square miles of land and growing when the volcano goes off, still provides opportunities for people to buy land. I mean, you can get a piece of lava rock for $8,000 an acre, all the way up to multi-million dollar estates along the Kohala coast. So the Big Island actually offers something for just about everybody. They will get sticker shock. I met with some people who walked into the Hilo office the other day and they had $200,000 to spend. And you're not going to get that in Hilo. You're going to have to go down south. But the good news is there is something for everybody. And that is why the Big Island is such an awesome place to consider either moving full-time as an investment or part-time. We've got something for everybody.
I'm going to open it up to see if anybody has any specific questions for you. They want to put it in the chat. Otherwise, I have another one.
Okay. I like the picture you have in the background.
Yes, I got it from your blog.
Very good. Yeah.
What about your referral program that you were going to be offering?
Oh, yes. Well, this started, you know, it's amazing how the ball starts to roll with one little thing, and then the next thing you know, it's expanding to other things. But I'm heading over to the Hawaii Association of Realtors convention next week in Honolulu. And I have a wonderful mentor, and she said, Jen, you need to do a card. You need some sort of something that you're going to hand to agents because you're really going to be networking there. I've not been to a real estate convention before. This will be my first one. So I thought about doing my 8-panel mailer, and that seemed a little large. And so I ended up doing a single fold business card, agent to agent referral card. And it actually came out spectacular, in my opinion, if I have to say so myself. But basically, I'm going to be offering for any agent referral a 32% referral commission to the referring agent on any properties that sell for $1 million or over, and 28% referral commission for any referral properties that are under $1 million. And I think that's a really robust commission to offer, but I feel that the referral end of my business is very important. I kind of see that more clearly now, and I'm focusing on it. So for any agents that have clients that are interested in looking at property over here, I just encourage you to contact me. I'm happy to mail you some materials, whatever you need from me to help get that relationship started. One of the things I pride myself on is being a good communicator. I don't let 3 days go by when an agent calls me or a potential client calls me, buyer or seller. I try to get right on that, because when somebody decides that they need something, they need it now. They don't need it 3 days or a week from now, or maybe they never hear from you at all, right? So it's really important to be a good communicator, and that's one of the things that I pride myself on.
Can you highlight specific data that's in your mailer?
Sure. It's like this last one that I did was the heading on the front says sellers are selling ... because buyers are buying. Sellers need to understand that even though we're in a shifting market, over here, we have not shifted. We have a very low inventory, and we have way more buyers than we ever have product. So then you open up the mailer, and there's kind of an introductory panel that explains who I am. I'm your neighbor. I'm your lifestyle expert, blah, blah, blah. And then I usually have a couple panels that have properties that I've sold with testimonies underneath, because I always would prefer that my client toot my horn than me toot my horn, right? And then I might have some stats of what's going on. I always promote my blog. And then on the back is all the contact information. I have a special monogram that was developed that just gets really beautiful response. And that's on my website as well. All of you can go to my website, homeonthehamakua.com. and check everything out in there. And that'll give you an idea of how I brand myself. And you know what? It's just really unusual with only being in the business 4 years to even be considered remotely an expert. But I'm just happy to share anything that I know or I've learned with anybody who could benefit from it. I'm still learning every day. Every day I'm learning something new. It's astounding.
We had a question. What islands do you cover?
Well, basically, I cover the Big Island, Hawaii Island, but I have some excellent CB referral agents on Oahu, Maui, and I have some contacts on Kauai. So if you needed help with getting a solid agent for the other islands, you can definitely contact me. I focus primarily on the Big Island. So.
And so Jen has graciously decided to give us a signed copy of her book. For the first person who answers in the chat, if this question, does anybody remember the square footage of her first yurt? Do we have anyone winner? Yes, no winner yet.
Was it right? No, that's not 800. Is she saying 800? No, okay.
Yeah, no, keep going.
Yeah, I wish it had been 800 square feet.
No, come on.
Go lower.
No, Teresa. That was from home. Close.
Oh, I meant 350.
You're so close.
No. Up a little.
It was closer to the 400 range, whoever did that. Keep going, Teresa. Yes, Robin! Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Robin Alibrand. Third time's a charm. Yay! So we'll get all that information for you.
It's quiet on my side.
Yeah. Well, it's not over here. I'm yelling for everyone. So, Jen, we just wanted to thank you. Apologize about the technical difficulties, but we put your information in the chat. So if anybody wants to get onto your website and contact you, we certainly appreciate it and wish you all the best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I totally appreciate it. God bless you all. Go out and get them.
Okay. Thank you. We hope everyone has a great Friday.
Thank you. Bye-bye.